How's it going, everybody out there? It's been a while since I made a video, and I know I said I wasn't going to make any in my car anymore, but I actually did because I felt like I needed to at that time. But I made a mention about protecting yourself, Second Amendment, all that stuff like that. And some people ask me, what do you recommend? Or some people say, oh, you shouldn't have a weapon or anything like that. And I say to them, well, if I can't have a weapon, then what's the point of the Constitution? What's the point of freedom of speech? What's the point of any amendment? If you don't have the right to protect yourself, do you think that if you call the police that they're going to show up right away? It doesn't work like that. They have I know it doesn't sound right, but they have a priority list of when they get calls. And if it's just a minor disturbance against a shootout, they're going to go to the shootout first before they go to the minor disturbance. But what if that minor disturbance turns into a shootout? You understand? So they have to weigh their options, or make a decision on what's better for them, or what call should they go to first. There's not enough police officers out there to protect every single person. It's just not going to happen. And the reason why we have a constitution is simply because of the fact that we, as Americans, we have rights and liberties that have been given to us that cannot be taken away. See, freedom can't be given to you. It can be taken away, but it can't be given to you. And so, some people ask me, oh, what do you carry? What do you like to shoot and this and that? What do you think about home, inside my home? Should I get bear spray or, an electric baton or some kind of stun gun or pepper balls or anything like that? If anyone's gonna break into your home, kick the door down or shoot through the door or break your window, they're coming in for a reason. And if they know you're home and they still try to get in, then you have a 99.9% chance that they have something that will take your life or your family's life. Because any sane, normal person would not break into your house if you were home. They would do it when you're gone. So that way they don't have to deal with people inside. They can just come in and grab what they think that is valuable to them and then take off. If someone breaks into your house while you're home, that's pretty ballsy of them to do that. So you need a deterrent. See, I hear people say, oh yeah, somebody tried to pick my lock on my house. Why? They can just break a window and open the door. What's a lock picking what's a lock gonna do? It's not gonna do anything. Yeah, it's good. You have to keep your doors locked, but no one's gonna walk up to your door and pick the lock. They'll just break the window or they'll kick the door in. It's a waste of time to do something like that. And bear spray is not gonna really do anything. It might blind them for a minute, but there's some people out there who can get hit with a taser or get hit with pepper spray or bear spray, and they're not going to feel a thing. What if the guy's high on drugs and you don't know about it, or alcohol, or something? Could be anything nowadays. Could have smoked some bath salts or something, and the guy could be completely out of his mind. So you have to think about those things. So it's not that you have to think about, oh, somebody's breaking into my house. Let me find out what the guy is on, if he's on drugs or if he's sober, and then I'll go get the right weapon to go and defend my home. It doesn't work like that. You grab the first thing that is closest to you, a baseball bat, whatever, a gun, a knife, to defend your home, you know. I mean, that's, as long as you're inside the law, then you're okay. Anything outside of that, I don't promote any of that stuff. You can't go running down the street chasing the person. You can't do any of that. You know, at least not where I live. And I don't know if any other place that you can. But anyways, you know, people ask me all the time, oh, so what kind of weapon, you know, this and that, and what should I carry? I got my CCL, my concealed license. I got this, I got that. And, you know, that's just a matter of preference, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, whatever fits in your pocket and doesn't jam, or whatever can fit on you where when you're out somewhere, nobody can see it, it's not uncomfortable. You're not going to carry around a full-size pistol. I mean, unless you have it like in your car in a lockbox or something, or concealed somewhere where no one can see it but you can grab it. I mean, it's not practical for you to carry a full-size handgun around. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I got a 45 and I carry it with me. Yeah, but you know, say you have a weapon like that and you have to go into a store or something that has a sign that says no handguns, and you have no place to put that thing in your car because it's big, and you don't want anybody to see you take it out. It's a lot easier to just go in your pocket and go like this and tuck it under your seat, or tuck it under your center console, or in your center console, instead of taking out, you know, a full-size pistol. This is a big pistol. This is a Smith&Wesson M&P 2.0. This was one of the first full-size pistols that I bought. It's not loaded, it's clear. So 17+1. Fantastic pistol. It's loud, and it has a lot of kick for an actual pistol this size, and it's heavy, and it has a very aggressive grip. Let's take a closer look. It's got some high-res sights. Very nice, but it's heavy. And it has kick, but it's stable. It doesn't flip up too much. At least not for me, because I'm a bigger guy. So if I had, like, I've shot .357 revolvers, 44 revolvers, and those work just fine, you know. But they're big guns, and they're very heavy, and they don't kick a lot. At least not for me. But for someone smaller, it's a big kick, you know. And it's an all metal gun. This is not an all metal gun. It just has a stainless steel slide and a polymer lower. So, and the smaller version of that is a 13+1 Smith&Wesson. This is a M&P 9 Shield Plus, but it's the Performance Center. It's got a fluted slide, and it has a fluted barrel also. It's got 13, and this has a really fast trigger, very quick. And it also has very high-res sights, the red and the green, Merry Christmas. And this gun does not kick, hardly at all, and it stays almost it literally stays almost completely flat. And the slide, when it moves back, it's so fast. It's actually faster than this gun. So when you pull the trigger, it's a very noticeable difference in it. It loads so quickly, and it has a little indicator on the top to tell you if it's loaded. So does the full-size one. This is, and the takedown on it is very simple. It's not a big pistol, but it still has an aggressive grip. And it's also still kind of heavy because it's a 13 shot, 13 plus one, it's a 13 plus one magazine. So it's actually kind of big to fit in your pocket. And also this pistol and the other pistol do not have safety. This one actually, I'm sorry, this one does have the safety, but this one does not have a safety on it. And I don't recommend putting a pistol with one in the pipe that has no safety just in your pocket. I would keep it in a holster, and that way, if somebody ever tried to grab it from you, they wouldn't be able to get their finger onto the trigger if it's guarded by a holster. See, something like this is like, and this is not for long distance. You're good at about, you're good at 15 yards, and that's about it. After that, you're gonna have to just, what they call spray and pray. Same thing with this one. This is maybe good for about 20, 25 yards if you're really good. Like, you have to be an amazing shot, because 25 yards is far, especially with a pistol. And even though it's a full size, this gun and this gun are actually about dead even accurate. And this pistol is actually quite a bit smaller. Can even hide behind it. It's a good 1.5 inches longer and heavier, but that I don't recommend doing that. And some people say, oh, you should keep one in the pipe. Well, if you do that and the gun has no safety, and you put that in your pocket, and you just barely touch this trigger, that gun's going off. That's a stupid idea. I would never do that. And a lot of people are gonna like, oh, it looks like a 380, but it's not. It's actually a 22, and it's a Phoenix Arms 22, but it's a 10 shot, and it's a magazine fed, and it has 2 safeties on it. It actually has one for the hammer and one for the magazine. And you cannot, if this is in fire, you cannot take the magazine out. You have to put it on safe and take the magazine out, and then you have to rack the slide. But once you rack the slide, it will not fire because the magazine won't be in it. And as a matter of fact, you can only rack the slide if there was one in the chamber, and you put it on safe and you rack it, and then take the mag out, put it back in. And this is not an easy gun to take down. There's a lot going on in here, and the trigger is actually really good. And this gun is actually almost as heavy as this one. Literally, this gun is very heavy. It's actually heavier than the Smith, just a basic Smith&Wesson 5-shot revolver, the Airweight, and the Ruger 5-shot 38 special or 357 revolver. This gun is actually heavier, and what I like about it is the second safety. It actually has a little bar that goes up in front of the hammer. So even if there was one in there and you pull the trigger on accident, or if somebody tried to grab it, it won't go off. It won't hit it. And I fired literally about 5,000 rounds through this thing, and it only jammed one time, and that was from some American Eagle ammunition. I just used CCI. So I use CCI only in this, and sometimes I carry it with me. It just depends. It's a lot more convenient to put it in your pocket. But the only thing is if you see, this is a hammer fire gun. So if you have it inside of your coat, that hammer has to be able to move back and hit the round that's in there. So if it's balled up inside of your jacket, your jacket might get stuck inside of there, or that might not move back. And that was actually the first pistol that I've ever bought. And it was very cheap when I bought it. And I definitely recommend one of these, which is a Uplula speed loader. And you can turn it upside down and get the rounds out of the mag quick too, if you need to unload. I don't unload that way, I just unload like that. But and it has a little lock on it. This little tab is made out of metal, and it will save your fingers, especially if you have a 17 round clip or a 21 round clip, or any clip that's a double stack that's hard to push the rounds down in, especially now, once you start getting bigger than 9mm, the bullets they're very hard to press down in the magazine. This is perfect for it. I use it at the range. I got a ton of magazines for all three of these pistols. And yes, I keep them loaded, of course. But, people always ask, what should I carry for, for self-defense, and then, you have to ask them their situation. Do they have kids? How old are their kids? Does their wife know how to use the gun? Are they married? If they're married, they have a wife, does she know how to use it? Single, whatever. You have to, and what places do you frequent? You can't go into a bar with a pistol, or any weapon for that matter, because you can't mix the alcohol with the weapons. Even the police know that. They don't even do that. Well, at least I wouldn't think they would. But it just depends on your life and your lifestyle and who's around you and where you visit, where you frequent. Like, my parents don't care if I bring a gun into their house, because they know I'm responsible. And I've had my gun license for almost a long time. I'm not gonna say, but I've had it for a long time. My sisters, they all know how to shoot. Their kids know how to handle weapons. I took my nephews to the range, and they actually did really good. They actually did just as good as me at 20 yards and 25 yards with the 9mm pistols. They actually did probably about, I think maybe they missed maybe one or two, and that's it. But out of all the rounds that they fired, they hit every single one of them almost dead center at 20 and 25 yards with a pistol, and that's really good, because it's very hard to shoot with a pistol that far away. People have this fascination in their mind that if they ever did get into where they had to defend themselves, that it's going to be like a long gun battle, but it's not. It's going to be only a couple of shots, or even if you just pull the gun out, the person might run away. And you really actually don't want to do that, unless you can get away. If you can't get away, or if you have like your family with you or whatever, and there's like nothing you can do and you just know where to go, then yeah, if you're, you have to check your state laws. But I mean, if there's something happens and you're able to like run out the door. Don't pull your weapon out. Don't. It's a stupid idea, because if the person doesn't have a weapon, if somebody starts acting crazy inside of a McDonald's, right? And you can just run out, you can just walk out the door, then just walk out the door. If they come in there with a pistol and they start waving it around, I would still run out the door. I wouldn't pull my pistol out. I would call the police and let them deal with it. Because self-defense and law enforcement, man, that's way two different things. Two totally different things. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's actually a good video on YouTube where a guy, there's some deranged man, he's mental, he's got a knife, and they're out in the street, and there's a bunch of people around, and he's walking backwards with his pistol pointed on the guy, keeps telling him, put the knife down, man, put the knife down. I don't want to shoot you. And somebody had called the police, and he kept walking. He walked back probably about a full block, and he never fired once. And then when the police showed up, they hit him with the taser, took the knife from him, and that was good. I mean, you know, he showed good restraint from not shooting somebody, you know, because if it was the police would have just gave him a couple of commands and then they would have shot him. But, you know, he was there with the pistol. The police hit him with the taser. The guy kept the pistol on him. And then once the police got the guy down and put the cuffs on him, he holstered his weapon and he, you know, he talked to the police and then he left. That was perfect. But pulling weapons out and stuff like that, if you don't have to, or, you know, if you shouldn't, then don't do it. I don't recommend it. But I do recommend having some, you know, I do recommend having at least something like one of these three, or all three of them, or you can even have 6 or 7 of them, a rifle, a shotgun. But like I said, if you're inside your house, and my house, the walls are block, they're cement, the bullet is probably not going to go through it. I doubt it. It's not going to go through a cement block wall. It might break it, but also if the gun goes off, my ears are going to sound like someone is screaming full blast for like 2 weeks because of the noise that it's going to make. It's so loud, especially when you're indoors or you're in a very small room or you're in a hallway and the sound has nowhere to escape. It's basically going to like someone just clapped on your ears like that, poop, and you're going to hear that noise and you're not going to be able to hear anything. So imagine firing a shotgun with a 3-inch 3-inch shell with buckshot in it, you know, and that has pellets in it that are like have the power of a 45, each one of them, and boom, it's going to go off, and it's going to be a big shotgun. As you're going to be in a hallway, boom, it's going to go off, and it's going to blow the whole door off, or a piece of a wall, or something, or if someone's standing in front of it, it's going to blow a piece of them off, and it's going to be so loud that your ears will probably bleed from that. A pistol, you can probably maybe, but it's still going to be loud. It's still going to be very loud, and definitely a rifle too. A rifle that has a muzzle brake on it, forget about it. A muzzle brake makes them louder. So it's gonna pow real loud, you know. It's an AR or an AK-47 for sure, because that's a pretty hefty bullet. It's loud. It's a loud gun, loud rifle. So yeah, I recommend carrying something to protect yourself at all times. There are situations where you can't, and you just have to, you know. You just have to live with that. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, and protect your family. You know, all your constitutional rights, exercise them. And don't let anybody try and take that away from you. And don't let anybody say whatever they say, oh, that's not good, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, you know what? It's been done for hundreds of years. And just because you don't like it, or a certain group of people doesn't like it, doesn't make it wrong. And what you're saying doesn't mean that you're right. You go by the law. And if you go by the law, you should be good. So that's my little pistol video for today. Maybe I'll show off some other ones in the future, because I left a few out, but they're nothing to talk about anyway. They're just like this. These are actually the better ones I have. But anyways, so you guys take it easy, and I'll see you later.